Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all and be here. So, for connected to the theme of Annie's talk today, cultivating change, I was looking through for different readings, and and I felt like in these times that we're living in now, there's so much uncultivated change, like sort of unbidden change. The radical changes of so many familiar things to us that's come kind of crashing down on us or crashing into our lives. And so this is kind of a sandwich of quotes about our human journey of how to navigate this terrain when it's shifting beneath our feet. So it's starting with a sandwiched reading from Pema Chodron's When Things Fall Apart with a couple of quotes on either side. The first is from a song called Right Place, Right Time by a young songwriter named Samara Jade. I believe that I'm in the right place at the right time. This wave is crashing down and it's the one for me to ride. I believe that I'm in the right place at the right time. This wave is crashing down and it's the one for me to ride. Crazy world, crazy times. I'm gonna let go of what ought to be and hang on for the ride. From Yasmin Bilali. I admire the way nature so readily embraces change. Trees don't complain about losing leaves or being too cold. Flowers don't desperately attempt to prolong summer. Animals gracefully accept aging. Why are we humans so fearful of change? Change is uncomfortable. Change requires a creative process that is always a messy journey into the unknown, a zone that can be terrifying. Now the meat of the sandwich, Pema Chodron from When Things Fall Apart. Fear is a universal experience. Even the smallest insect feels it. Everything spontaneously does that. It's not a terrible thing that we feel fear when faced with the unknown. It is part of being alive, something we all share. We react against the possibility of loneliness, of death, of not having anything to hold on to. Fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to the truth. If we commit ourselves to staying right where we are, then our experience becomes very vivid. Things become very clear when there's nowhere to escape. Only to the extent that we expose ourselves over and over to annihilation can that which is indestructible be found in us. Things falling apart is a kind of testing and also a kind of healing. We think that the point is to pass the test or to overcome the problem, but the truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and they fall apart. Then they come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. Life is a good teacher and a good friend. Things are always in transition if we could only realize it. The off-center state is an ideal situation, a situation in which we don't get stuck and we can open our hearts and minds beyond limit. In the midst of loneliness, in the midst of fear, in the middle of feeling misunderstood and rejected, is the heartbeat of all things. To stay with that shakiness, to stay with a broken heart, with a rumbling stomach, with the feeling of hopelessness and wanting to get revenge, that is the path of true awakening. Sticking with that uncertainty, getting the knack of relaxing in the midst of chaos, learning not to panic, this is the spiritual path. Getting the knack of catching ourselves, of gently and compassionately catching ourselves, is the path to the warrior. We catch ourselves 1 zillion times as once again, whether we like it or not, we harden into resentment, bitterness, righteous indignation, and then even into a sense of relief, a sense of inspiration. I'll close the sandwich with a quote from Rumi. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?